end of World War II, superpowers have dominated international politics. This is a series of short films examining what the very building blocks of these global powers actually are. Perhaps the most important facet of any country's status as a superpower is the state of its finances. If you want to instantly understand how important all this is, think about the 40-odd-year history of the Cold War. The USA set great store by the fact that it was the world's most successful exponent of market capitalism, whereas the Soviet Union and its satellite countries were run as state-directed command economies, and their leaders thought this model would win out. Nikita Khrushchev, the 50s Soviet premier, once looked witheringly at a crowd of ambassadors from the West and said this: "Whether you like it or not, history is on our side. We will bury you." And look what happened. The Soviet Union came to an end because its stagnant economy came apart at the seams, and it couldn't find the money to keep pace with American defense spending. In the wake of the fall of communism, the national income of Russia was revealed to be around 1/10 of the USA's, maybe even less. The lesson? As Bill Clinton famously said, it's the economy, stupid. The era of globalization has brought with it a new rule. Any country that wants to achieve superpower status has to embrace markets and the profit motive, and open itself up to international finance. There's a beautiful irony in the fact that China is still run by a communist party, but it's marching towards superpower status thanks to its enthusiastic embrace of full-blooded capitalism and the free market. When you look at worldwide figures for gross domestic product, essentially total national income, it all becomes clear. According to the latest figures from the World Bank, the USA comes top of the rankings at about $15 trillion. After Japan and Germany, China comes fourth with just over $2.5 trillion. But what's really important is that the Chinese economy has been growing by an average of nearly 10% a year for the last 2 decades. Last year, the figure was a jaw-dropping 11.7%. If China keeps that up, by 2041, it'll have an even bigger economy than America. It's pretty telling that according to most rankings, Brazil's national income has now overtaken Russia's, and it's the world's 8th biggest economy. India is growing fast and hovering just outside the top 10. And here's the sting in the tail. If you count the European Union as one economy, it comes out at the very top. In the midst of all this, there's an even bigger story. Since the Second World War, it's been the American dollar that's been the world's one true international currency. But as the US economy has hit hard times, that dominance has been under threat from the euro. Crucially, the dollar retains a great deal of power through being the currency in which the world buys and sells oil. But if that dominance were to slip, it would say something very powerful about the global balance of power. It hasn't happened yet, but there have been plenty of recent stories about the dollar's declining power. Late last year, there were newspaper articles about the Brazilian supermodel Gisele insisting on being paid in euros. And in one of his recent videos, Jay-Z made a point of flashing a wad of them. So where exactly are we? The USA may still dominate institutions like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, but its economic power is sliding. If China and India are on the fast track to becoming the superpowers of tomorrow, their turbocharged economies are the key reason. If Europe draws closer together, its huge economy will give it a political clout to match. And why? Because when you let capitalism loose, things change fast. As one great thinker once put it, soon enough everything solid melts into air. His name, strangely enough, was Karl Marx.